interested in Monroe, Georgia, and want to get a feel of where it is and what's happening there. So I'm going to take you through a quick little tour on Google Maps just to get you familiar with the area and what it's like to live there. So we won't go into too much detail. We're going to focus on schools, hospitals, restaurants, where it is as it relates to the airport and Atlanta and some major highways. So let's get started. So you can see here, this is telling you where Monroe is as it relates to getting into downtown Atlanta. And so you can see that it is definitely a town that is a little further away from Metro Atlanta. It's probably one of the furthest most points in Atlanta area that's still considered part of Metro Atlanta. So it's about an hour and 15 minutes to get to downtown Atlanta. So it's definitely not a town that you would want to live if you love going into Atlanta quite often to experience the scene there. Something you would want to do is maybe just focus closer to some of the nearby cities and towns, and we'll talk about that shortly. So Monroe, just so you know, it is the county seat for Walton County, Georgia, which is next to Gwinnett and Gwinnett County, and not too far from Barrow County, which is further north. So now we can talk about how far it takes or how long it takes to get from Monroe to Hartsville. And you can see here that it is about an hour and just over an hour. Here's another one that'll take you about the same route. So you can see that getting to the airport is going to take you a little bit of time to get there. So the next thing I want to show you is just kind of focusing in more on Monroe, Georgia, the town itself. I want to show you where it is in relation to other areas, other towns and cities, just to get you familiar with how to move in and out of Monroe. So you can see here to the west, the closest city that has activities and more retail options, more restaurant options is Loganville, Georgia. Roughly takes you about, I would say 25 minutes to get to Loganville from Monroe. The next town is Snellville. You're going to get even more options for retail and restaurants there. Another good town to visit that's close by is Grayson. So if this is about 25 minutes, it's going to take you roughly about 35 minutes to get to Snellville and Grayson from this area. And then you can see here, going south, you're going to see that Monroe is close to Social Circle, which is another small town that's actually growing pretty well. If you've been in Atlanta, you notice that everything is kind of moving out further out from Atlanta to the east, to the south of Atlanta, even to the west and north. So you're going to see a lot of growth happening in these areas. So really now is the time to move to these areas if you want to experience, more equity in your home values growing. This is a great time to move to these areas. So Social Circle is here. You also have Covington. Covington is actually very famous. I'll talk about that in the video when I feature Covington specifically. So Covington, and then you also have Conyers here. Now, to further east is Athens. So if you are a UGA fan, then this is definitely an area you may want to live in if you don't want to be in Athens proper. Definitely explore Monroe, and then you can easily get to Athens and to those UGA games very, very easily. Now, I'm not really a huge UGA fan. I do have friends and family that are fans. I love the Trader Joe's there. So you're going to see me go to Trader Joe's in Athens before I go to a UGA game. Sorry, guys. What I also want to show is just to get you familiar with the different roads that'll take you in and out of Monroe and the area. When you get into Atlanta, especially when you get outside the perimeter, you're definitely going to want to get familiar with the roads. A lot of the roads, surprisingly, are super long. And so if you hop on one, it'll easily take you into Atlanta, no matter which road that you take. So maybe it's a couple of roads that take you into Atlanta, or maybe one road that takes you straight into Atlanta. So even though it's further out from Metro Atlanta, it is an easy route to get into Atlanta if you ever need to do that. So here are the roads that I want you to get familiar with is 78 here. 78 goes all the way into Athens, as you can see. It will also take you into these towns that I mentioned, Loganville, Snellville. You hop off really quickly and you can head up to Grayson as well. And it'll take you to 124. 124 will also get you to a couple of towns. But let's go back to 78. 78 actually goes all the way into Atlanta. And specifically, it'll take you closer to Decatur, Georgia. So again, it's one of those roads that one going in one direction, it'll take you to Athens. The other direction, it'll take you into Atlanta. And then if you were to turn onto 124, you'll see that it'll take you into Lithonia, it'll take you into Stone Mountain, and it'll take you to I-20, which also takes you straight into Atlanta, further on the southern end of Atlanta. If you go in the other direction of I-20, you're looking at going into Augusta and going into South Carolina. Another road is, but not, a large road or familiar road, is 138. 138 will take you straight into Conyers, which will also get you straight onto I-20. So very easy route to get to I-20 if you need to. And then the State Road 11 will take you into Social Circle and will also get you to I-20 on that end. State Road 11 also will take you to Bethlehem, and it will actually take you all the way to 85, Interstate 85, which will take you into Atlanta, and then it will also take you in the other direction into South Carolina. And there's actually an outlet mall, and it's called in Commerce, that you can go to. So straight up 11 will take you to that particular mall. It may take a little bit of time to get there, but it's pretty much a straight shot to get there. So you can see it's very easy to get on the road and get to where you need to go if you're going out of Monroe. So let's talk a little bit about some of the schools. So there's adequate schools here in Monroe, Georgia, that will get your kids what they need in order to get a great education. You're going to see that for elementary schools, you have Carter Elementary School here, you have Monroe Elementary School here. There is, I believe, another school here. Yes, Ather Road Elementary School. You also have Carver Middle School here. And the high school is also what I wanted to mention, which is here, Monroe Area High School. And it looks like there's some other private schools that you can have your child attend. So just know that there are definitely schools here that you can have your child attend, and you'll get adequate schooling. So, of course, we always want to know if there is a hospital in the area or close by, or if at least make sure that there's some medical facilities that are nearby in case you're injured or sick and you need to go in and see someone. So you're going to see here that there actually is a hospital, Piedmont Walton. Piedmont is one of the major healthcare systems here in the metro Atlanta area. They have definitely expanded their reach in this area. And so you see it's not a huge hospital, but it's definitely a hospital. If you notice, it's right off of 78. And again, mentioned before, 78 takes you straight into Loganville, all the way into Atlanta. So if you had an emergency, went to this hospital and needed to go to a larger facility, it is just a quick jump onto 78 to get you where you need to go. So not only that, we have, some medical centers, some clinics, some urgent care centers here. So again, there is plenty of medical facilities that you can go to. Walton County Healthcare. So definitely nothing to worry about in that respect. You're going to be able to find some local medical facilities to go to. And last but not least, what I want to show you is just a few restaurants. So this Monroe is, it's a small town. And so there's not going to be a ton of restaurants, a ton of retail per se. But we found that a lot of our Georgia residents, they do like the small town feel. What we've noticed in our areas is that instead of everyone wanting to go or only able to go into Atlanta to find any type of activities, we've noticed that a lot of the towns and cities that are outside the perimeter are really stepping up and really building up the local scene. The downtown areas are really getting more development. And so a lot of activities are starting to happen in those downtown areas, in other little pockets of areas in the city. Monroe, Georgia is no different. They always have activities. You can actually go to their website and you can see a list of all of the events that they have throughout the year, and they have plenty of things going on. But on the restaurant scene, you'll notice that they have all the standard fast food restaurants and things of that nature, but they do have some specialty restaurants that I think that you are going to like. They're a little bit more slightly upscale. And so I haven't been to all of these, but I'm definitely going to be featuring some of those in future videos if they're not already linked here. Now, there are some that I have been to and I love. One is Blue Rooster. Blue Rooster Lake Shop is a bakery and a sandwich shop. They have soups and sandwiches, but I go there for their bakeries. It is so good. You are going to love Blue Rooster. They have their original shop is in Lawrenceville, downtown Lawrenceville, and they decided to open up a shop in Monroe. You'll love it. I highly recommend that you go there. Next up is LR Burger. I do believe they have a location in Lawrenceville as well, but as you can see, it does have high ratings, so I highly encourage you to go to LR Burger. I actually went down there to tour a home and so actually a new construction community and saw it. It's a very nice spot. It has some open seating outside, so definitely a place to go if you want to hang out, get a burger, enjoy the downtown scenery. Amici Monroe, there is another location in Covington. It's an Italian restaurant, pizza focused. It's definitely one that you would want to try a little bit more on the higher inside as far as restaurants go. And Silver Queen is the other one that I wanted to show you. Silver Queen, they have a food truck. It does lean more towards the Mexican side, but they have recently posted that they are going to kind of expand their menu and head more into Southern cuisine. So I'm very, very excited to see what they have in store. But they definitely have a food truck, so look for them in the local areas. And I think that may be it. The Brown Fig looks like it has some very good reviews there. And then we also have the Row, which I think also has some high reviews there. So highly recommend that you take some time, if you're interested in Monroe, to go to their downtown area and really explore and see what's available. Now, in future videos, I'm going to actually go to Monroe and go to the downtown area, go to a couple of schools, and actually showcase in a video just what it looks like being in Monroe, Georgia. So look for those videos coming soon. Now, of course, if you are interested in moving to Monroe or any other area outside the perimeter on the east side, give me a call. I would love to work with you. Let's get started. Have a good day, guys.